Johnson Marionettes present Wonder Mountain, written in 1945 by Ed Johnson after returning from the Philippines where he was stationed during World War II. The story takes place on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. Scene 1, the volcano. Our story begins just outside of Pedro's house. Pedro is a young man about 18 years old. He lives with his widowed mother and little brother Juan. They all live together in a little yellow bamboo hut that sits high off the ground on stilts. It has bamboo stairs that lead from the porch down to the ground. Their little yellow dog Banana is asleep on the ground under the stairs. Pedro's mother just came out of the door of her little home. She has a basket of fruit that is balancing on her head. She climbed down the stairs to the ground and could not see Banana's tail that was sticking out from under the steps. She carefully stepped to the ground, but the tail jumped under her foot. Poor Banana ran out from underneath the house. Pedro's mama tried to steady the basket of fruit, but it came tumbling down to the ground. She went over to try to calm the little dog.
"Oh, Banana, you crazy dog. You frightened me. Oh, I'm sorry, Banana. Are you hurt? That's what you get for leaving your tail sticking under the steps. Look, I have to pick up all the fruit that you made me spill. Then I need to prepare this rice for dinner. You go back to sleep under the stairs. I have just returned from the market and I am very tired."
She picked up the fruit and returned it to the basket. She balanced the basket of fruit on her head. Then she climbed up the stairs and disappeared into her home. Banana, now recovered, bounced up to the stairs and sniffed around the ground. Then he sat down and scratched himself behind his ear. Then he got up, walked over and laid down under the stairs again with his yellow tail sticking out. There was a rustling sound coming from the brush. It's Pedro returning home from work. Pedro has a rope in his hand, leading a water buffalo behind him. Juan, Pedro's little brother, is riding on the giant animal's back. Pedro walked to the caribou's side and stretched out his arms. "Here, Juan, I will lift you down."
"No, Pedro, I want to ride on the caribou's back some more."
"No, Juan, the caribou is very tired."
I want to. Oops.
Juan slipped off the water buffalo. Pedro caught him and set him back on the ground. "There, you see? You could have had the bad fall. That should teach you a lesson, Juan."
Yes, Pedro.
Juan ran to the stairs, climbed up to the porch, and looked back down at Pedro.
"Pedro, will you pick me a banana?"
"No, Juan, you will not want to eat your rice if you eat now." Juan ran into the house yelling.
Ima, they were picking rice in the field today, and I helped. I did, Ima.
Pedro giggled as they walked back to the caribou. Then he took his rope off. "Good old caribou, you are so strong and patient. Would you like to take your bath in the stream now? You cannot make a sound. I wish you could talk."
You are so silly, Pedro.
That was Maria. She is a young lady that lives nearby. She had long hair and is very pretty, and now she's dressed in her formal clothing.
Imagine a caribou that could talk. I don't think I would like that. He looks so sad. Maybe he would all the time be telling us about his troubles.
"Wow, you are all dressed up. You are very beautiful, Maria." Maria covered her face with her hands because she was very embarrassed.
Thank you, Pedro. I have been to the church in Angeles to say a prayer for my mother. She died 1 year ago today.
"I am so... Oh, I stubbed my toe." Pedro started hopping around holding one foot in the air.
No, you did not stub your toe.
"Yes, I did, and it hurts too." Pedro is still jumping around on one foot.
No, you did not.
"Well, I ought to know if I stubbed my toe or not."
But you...
It's my toe, isn't it?
Yes,
It's not
but
your toe that got stubbed, it's mine, and it hurts too.
it was the Anitos.
Anitos?
Yes, strange people who live in the rice fields. My father said that if a person stubs his toe, he has stepped on an Anito's plate of rice, and the Anito hit him on the foot to make him get off.
Oh, that is the belief of the mountain people of the north. I do not believe in Anitos myself.
Maybe you don't, but my father said...
You never saw one, did you?
Of course not. No one has.
there, you see. Maria, will you go with me to the rice festival in Anitos next week?
I will ask my father.
The two didn't notice that Juan was spying on them up on the porch.
Juan, go back into the house. Yes, Pedro.
Juan ran back into his home, but then he snuck right back out.
Pedro loves Maria. Pedro loves Maria. Juan.
Pedro took a step towards Juan, and he turned around and ran back into his house crying.
Ima. I am sorry about Juan, Maria.
I must go home. I will tell you about the rice festival tomorrow.
I hope your father will let you go. There will be music and dancing and lots of good things to eat.
I will see. Bye, Pedro.
Goodbye, Maria. Maria, what a beautiful girl.
Pedro watched her disappear around the corner. Pedro watched his carabao, otherwise known as a water buffalo, as it clambered down the hill to the river and waded in. The carabao sunk down into the water until only his nose was sticking out.
Enjoy your bath, my old friend.
Good afternoon, Pedro. While watching the carabao, an old man had walked up behind him. He turned around.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tonwego. Your daughter Maria just left to go home.
Yes, I know. I passed her on the road. Pedro, I'm worried about Maria.
Worried about Maria? Why?
I have heard talk in the town. There is a story that someday that volcano over there, Mount Orion, will erupt. Smoke and flames and melted stone will go shooting into the sky.
Why does that worry you about Maria?
You have heard of the Anitos?
Yes, Maria and I were just talking about them, but
they say that the chief of the Anitos lives deep down inside the volcano. When it erupts, he will fly out and steal the most beautiful girl on the island and take her back to the mountain with him.
And you think that...
Maria is a very beautiful girl, Pedro.
I see. You think that the chief of the Anitos will take Maria away. But do not worry, that is only a story. I do not believe that there really are any Anitos.
I do not know, Pedro. Strange things have been happening. Only this morning I stepped out of my small house just in time to see my very best bunch of bananas pick themselves off the tree and go walking down the road all by themselves.
You say that the bananas picked themselves? Oh, that is silly. Maybe you were dreaming. Do not worry. Nothing will happen to Maria.
I hope not. But it was very strange about the bananas.
Mr. Tonwego turned and started walking back home. Pedro wandered around a while, talking to himself.
Bananas that pick themselves off the trees and go walking down the road all by themselves? It just can't be.
Pedro's mother stepped out of her doorway and called down to him.
Pedro, was that Mr. Tonwego that you were talking to? Yes, Mother. He is worried because he thinks the chief of the Anitos is going to fly out of the mountain and take Maria away with him. Such foolish talk. You mean he really believes there are such things as Anitos? Yes, I guess so. I cannot understand it.
Pedro's mother turned and walked back into her house. A bag of rice that was sitting underneath the steps lifted up off the ground and started floating away. Pedro started following the bag.
Hey! The bag of rice is flying away.
Pedro started to run after it. After all, the rice is their main source of food.
Come back here, you bag of rice.
Pedro caught up to the bag of rice and tackled it to the ground.
I got you.
While Pedro was trying to get up, the bag of rice flew right out of his hands. Again, Pedro ran after it and tackled the bag of rice again. He waited a moment or two before he thought it was safe to get up again.
I think this bag of rice will stay this time.
And the bag of rice did stay down.
Now I wonder what could have made that bag of rice fly through the air like that. Maybe an Anito had it.
The ground began to tremble and a low rumble was heard. Pedro looked up.
What is that? The sky looks strange.
The sky became dark and the rumbling was getting louder.
What is happening? An earthquake?
Just then, the top of the volcano exploded, followed by a loud crash. Smoke and bright red molten rock was blown high into the sky. The cloud of smoke rose a mile into the air. The ground kept on shaking. There was another big explosion, followed by a sharp boom. A few seconds later, there was a glowing red river. Oh, another explosion! A few seconds later, there was a glowing red river flowing down the side of the mountain. Then the shaking stopped. It seemed quiet for a moment, but then the shaking began again, and the gigantic cloud of superheated gases above the volcano started to collapse back down. When the cloud reached the mountain, it did not stop, but it flowed at great speed down the side of the mountain, consuming everything that it touched. Pedro watched as the superheated cloud flowed down the mountain into the countryside. Pedro's little town was lucky that the cloud went down the back side of the volcano, burning everything in its path until it finally dissipated in the countryside. Then, all was quiet. It was all over. Pedro took a deep breath.
Mount Araya did erupt, just like Mr. Tanuego said it would. Oh, I hope nothing has happened to Maria. Ima, did you see? Yes, I saw it in the window. Here comes Mr. Tanuego now. Mr. Tanuego, is Maria all right?
Mr. Tanuego came running and he was out of breath.
Mrs. Dyson, Pedro, she's gone. The Anitos have taken her to the mountain. What would I do, Pedro? What would I do, my poor Maria?
Pedro stepped forward and said,
I will go to the mountain and bring her back.
The old man sunk to his knees.
It's no use, Pedro. You will never find her. The Anitos...
I will leave right now. I will not come back without her.
No, Pedro. The Anito King, he will kill you.
Let him try. I love your daughter, Mr. Tanuego, and I will find her. Come on, Banana, let's go. Let's go find Maria.
Banana got up from under the steps and they both ran to the mountain. Wonder Mountain, Chapter 2, The Crater. Pedro and Banana managed to climb up the side of the volcano to the very top. They were able to avoid the rivers of melted rock and the huge boulders blocking their way. Now at the top, they found that they were on the edge of a monster crater. Looking across the crater, you could not see the far edge because it was obscured by the smoke and gases still rising. There was no bottom to the crater. The giant hole went down. It looked like forever. Looking back towards the town, the countryside looked so small and far away. On the edge near where they were standing were several gigantic boulders that were still warm and scattered fires and lava falls.
Come, Banana.
The two finally reached the top.
Just a little bit farther. Come, Banana.
Banana reached the top first. Followed closely behind was Pedro. Pedro stopped and was out of breath.
Oh, Banana, what a climb that was, eh? I'm very tired.
Pedro sat on a semi-cool, flat-topped rock. He looked down at the crater, then looked back to the town.
You know, Banana, this must be about the highest place in the whole world. I can see a long way. There is the town of Angeles at the bottom of the mountain. Can you see it, Banana? And look at the crater.
Pedro and Banana looked down into the crater.
Wow, what a hole in the ground that is.
Ooh.
Think of all the garbage you could throw down there. The rocks are still hot from the fire and smoke that came out of the hole when the mountain erupted.
Banana stuck his head out over the edge and sniffed.
Banana, do not get too close to the edge. You might fall in. You would get hurt if you fell down there. It's a long way down. I cannot even see the bottom.
and the chief of the Anitos has Maria down there. The sides are much too steep for us to climb down. There must be some other way to go down to the bottom of this hole. Do you see a way, Banana? Banana's ears perked up as he heard something along the edge. Oh, what will I do? I must save Maria from the chief of the Anitos. Oh, stop your noise. I am trying to think. Will you be quiet, Banana? Pedro jumped to his feet. Banana, will you be quiet? Banana! What is all the fuss about? There is no one else up here. Now you be quiet and let me think. I do hear footsteps. Someone is coming. Let's hide behind this big rock. They both hid behind a giant boulder. The footsteps became louder. Don't make any noise, Banana. Out from the darkness, a creature appeared. It looked kind of like human, but it was orange and red with streaks of yellow. It looked like fire. It had normal hands and legs. The feet were a triangle shape. His head was pointed at the top. He also looked like he ate well. He had a large tummy. This must be an Anito, Banana, so be very quiet. The Anito stopped right in front of the rock that they were hiding behind. Pedro held his breath. The red and orange colored Anito walked to the edge of the crater. He looked to the right, then to the left. He turned and he walked under a rock overhang and then disappeared. He's gone, I think. After a few minutes, they got up and walked to the place where the Anito had disappeared. Maybe we can find a way down there, where the Anito disappeared. When they got to the place where the Anito disappeared, it was only a rocky wall. I don't see any passages, Banana. I don't see any footprints either. How will I get down inside the mountain? Banana quietly slipped away as Pedro was thinking. I could jump over the side. Oh no, it is much too far down. I would get down there all right, but I would not get up again. Banana, where did that dog go? His bark came from behind that rock over there. Pedro quickly walked over to the big rock. I don't see him. Banana had jumped out from behind the big boulder and put his paws up on Pedro's chest. Oh, Banana, you frightened me. Where did you go? Banana ran around behind the boulder. Then he ran back to Pedro. Then back behind the big rock. Then back to Pedro. Then back behind the boulder. Have you found something, Banana? Oh, you want me to follow you? Banana was getting very excited. Pedro followed Banana behind a giant boulder. Oh, I see. A cave in the rocks. There is a stairway leading down. This must be the way to the bottom of the mountain. You are a good dog, Banana. Banana jumped into the air with excitement. You have found it. It is dark in there. You lead the way, Banana. Be careful, not too fast. Now, I will find my Maria. Pedro and Banana slowly descended down the stone staircase, disappearing into the darkness. Wonder Mountain, Chapter 3, The Bottom of the Mountain. In the meantime, while Pedro and Banana were trying to find their way down, there was a large room at the bottom of the crater. The walls were cut out of the stone. It was mostly gray, with fire-red streaks shooting up to the ceiling. The cave was illuminated by the lake of lava and the lava river that flowed into it. The Anito that Pedro saw on the rim of the crater walked in. He looked back over his shoulder and then scurried across the other side and was gone. This way, girl. That voice came from the hallway. Maria was being dragged in the room by a big, strong-looking Anito clutching her arms. He did not look like the other Anitos. He looked much stronger, but the same colors. and his head was pointed too. The big Anito had a necklace with a jewel on it. You couldn't miss it. It glowed brightly in the firelight.
Take me home, please.
Take you home. This is your home, and this is my home, inside the mountain. Do you like it?
No, I want to go back to Angeles.
It is nice and warm in here, eh? Do not be afraid of me, girl. I will not harm you. I am the chief of the Anitos.
You are a Anito?
The chief of the Anitos.
But I can see you. I
In the
thought...
firelight of the volcano we are visible. Do I not look handsome?
No, you do not.
The chief motioned to Maria to sit down on a chair-shaped rock.
You will learn to like it here.
It is very nice, I'm sure. Now take me home before my father worried about me.
Maria finally decided to sit on the rock.
Take you home, you say? Oh no, this is your home now. You are going to be my queen, the queen of all the Anitos.
Maria stood back up.
I am very sorry, but I do not want to be the queen of the Anitos. I just want to go home.
The chief of the Anitos put his hands behind his back and triumphantly marched back and forth in front of her.
After the wedding ceremony, you will become an Anito yourself. See how nice and pointed the top of my head is?
The chief bent over, showing how the top of his head narrowed to a point.
Soon your head will be like this too. You will like that, won't you?
No, I do not want a pointed head.
The chief straightened up.
But all Anitos have pointed heads.
I like my head the way it is, thank you. Can't you understand? I don't want to be an Anito, and I don't want to be your queen.
The chief's hands tightened into fists.
You do not want to be the Anito queen? I am very powerful, and I am very rich. Think it over, girl. I will soon be back, and while I'm gone, do not try to leave this place. You will never find your way out. You may slip too and fall to the bottom of the crater.
The Anito chief turned around and walked out the way he came in. Maria sat down on a rocky chair and started to cry. Who comes up behind her? The Anito with a big belly. Maria hadn't noticed that he was standing right behind her. He watched her for a short while.
Hey, why do you make that funny noise?
Maria popped out of the chair.
Oh, you frightened me.
Why do you make that funny noise?
I want to go home.
Maria sat back down on the rock, and Papaya walked a little closer to her.
I am sorry for you, pretty girl, but the chief will never let you go.
Maria started to cry again. Papaya became very antsy.
Do not make that funny noise. It makes me feel sad.
I cannot help it. I always cry when I'm unhappy.
Papaya had a very confused look on his face.
Cry?
Yes.
I never saw anybody cry before. I do not like it either. It makes shivers run up and down my back. Whoa!
Papaya had the shivers so bad it looked like he was dancing. Then a smile came to Maria's face.
You are so funny. I like you. You are very nice. Oh, my name is Maria. What is your name?
My what?
Your name.
Name?
Yes, what do people call you?
Papaya walked right up to Maria.
They call me Hey You.
That's not a name, silly. You have such a big belly. You look just like a ripe papaya. I think I will call you Papaya.
That's a nice name, Maria. I like that.
Papaya was so excited about his new name that he marched around the room and started singing.
I have a name, and my name Papaya. I have a name, and my name Papaya. You are a good girl, Maria. I wish I could help you.
Well, perhaps you can.
Papaya stopped dancing and looked at Maria.
Is there any way out of here?
Papaya looked down thought for a minute, then looked back up at Maria.
There is a passageway, but it's very dangerous. One slip and you fall to the bottom of the crater.
I'm not afraid to try.
If the chief caught us, he would throw us both into the fire pit.
Maria's head sank down and her shoulders wilted.
Oh dear, I would not want you to get hurt because of me. What can I do?
There is one thing.
Yes?
Maria and Papaya were starting to get a little bit more excited.
Did you notice that big jewel the chief wears on his chest?
Yes.
Well, that jewel gives him all his power. Without it, he would be as weak as a baby.
You mean if I take it away from him?
But it would not be easy. Many Anitos have tried and failed. We Anitos do not like him. He is very wicked. He makes us go out and steal rice and bananas from the people. And that's not right. Before he was chief, we Anitos never bothered anybody. Now nobody likes us anymore.
I will get the jewel.
Maria heard the voice of the chief off in the distance.
Out of my way, Anitos.
That made Papaya jump. Then he started towards the exit.
He is coming. I am going.
Papaya ran and disappeared down the other
Don't
tunnel.
leave me, Papaya. Oh, he's gone.
Then Maria had an idea.
If the jewel gives him all his power, I must get it away from him. But how to do it? I know. Perhaps if I'm real nice to him.
Girl,
Oh, he's coming.
The chief boldly marched into the room.
well, girl, how do you like your new home now, eh? Are you ready to be the queen of the Anitos?
Maria moved closer to the chief.
Oh, Chief, look at you. It's funny, I did not notice it before. You look so handsome. It must be that jewel you are wearing on your chest.
The chief turned to Maria.
Well, that's better. You like the jewel, eh? Do you like the way it sparkles in the firelight?
Oh, yes. Will you give it to me if I become your queen?
I will see.
The chief looked away.
You will be my queen, eh, girl?
Yes.
You will like living here in the mountains. All the Anitos will wait on you and be your servants. You will like that, eh?
Oh, yes.
Maria heard a noise out in the stone hallway, which also caught the attention of the chief. He looked away for a second. Maria reached her hand out for the jewel. She touched it as the chief pulled away just in time to escape her grasp. The chief dismissed the noise.
Good. I am going to make ready for the wedding feast. When I come back, we will have the wedding. You wait here. I will not be long.
The chief turned and marched out the rock doorway.
Oh, dear. I have failed. I must find a way to get that jewel somehow. I heard something. Maybe Papaya is coming back.
Suddenly, Banana bounded into the room and jumped onto a rock next to Maria.
Oh, you startled me. Where did you come from? Oh, I am so glad to see you. Did Pedro come too? Where is he?
Banana ran out to find Pedro. Maria heard Pedro's voice coming from somewhere up the stairs.
Pedro, I'm here, Pedro.
Maria, I have found you at last. Pedro confidently entered the room.
Oh, Pedro, you have come for me. Take me home.
Pedro reached out his hand for Maria to take. Of course, Maria. If you come this way. Maria reached her hand out, then pulled it back.
No, wait.
What's the matter?
The jewel.
Jewel?
Yes. The chief of the Anitos wears a large jewel on his chest. It gives him all his strength. So if we take it away from him, he will not be able to bother us anymore.
But how can we take it away from him?
He will be back here soon, and I will get him to sit on this rock.
She pointed at the same rock that she had sat on.
Then you can sneak up behind him and grab the jewel. That is all.
That is all, eh? Well, I will try. They both heard the Anito chief's voice in the hallway.
Girl, do I hear you talking to someone?
Hide quickly, Pedro. He is coming. No, Chief. I was just thinking out loud. Hurry, Pedro.
Where will I go? Pedro was frantically looking for a place to hide.
I do not know. Find a place quickly.
Pedro dove into the stairway passage just in time as the chief was stomping in.
I thought I heard voices in here. Are you sure you're not talking to someone?
No, Anito Chief. There is no one. Sit down on that rock there and let me see that beautiful jewel again.
You like the jewel I wear, eh?
The chief sat down on that same stone chair.
Oh, yes. It sparkles so. I wish you would give it to me.
Pedro silently started to crawl up behind the chief.
After you become the queen of the Anitos, you will have many jewels, girl.
Pedro, now behind the chief, stood up and slowly reached for the jewel.
And silks.
Pedro stepped on a stone that made a scrape noise, and the chief started to turn.
It is strange about the voices.
As the chief started to turn around, Pedro dove for the passage and rolled out of sight.
I thought I heard you talking to someone.
The chief turned back around and stared right through Maria.
You are not to talk to anyone but me. Do you understand?
Yes.
I will be right back to take you to a room at the bottom of the crater. There, I will be performing a magic ceremony to change you into Anito and my queen.
Maria turned to the direction that Pedro was hiding.
All right, Pedro. He is gone. You can come out now.
Pedro came out of the stair passageway, brushing the dirt off his shirt. Phew, that was close. What an ugly looking fellow he is, huh? Let's go, Maria. Pedro grabbed Maria's hand and started pulling her towards the stairway passage. We have to leave now. But Maria stubbornly stopped.
No, wait. We must get the jewel.
Never mind the jewel, come on. Pedro was still pulling on her hand. Finally, Maria relented.
Well, all right. But we should get the jewel. It gives him his strength. Without it, he could no longer bother us.
Yes, and we might both be killed trying to get it. Let's go quickly before he comes back. I know the way. Maria put her hands to her face.
Oh, he is coming back.
Pedro again started pulling Maria's hand. Quick, Maria, this way. They both ran up the stone staircase. This time, it was Pedro that stopped. Where did Banana, my dog, go? I must find him. Pedro climbed back down the stone staircase to the big room.
Banana, psst, Banana.
Pedro kept creeping around the room looking for his dog.
Banana, where are you? Did you hear me, girl?
The chief's voice was getting close.
Banana! All right then, here I come.
Oh, I had better get out of here. Pedro started running for the rocky stairway. He tripped over a stone sticking up from the ground, then struggled to stay on his feet, but fell forward to the ground. Pedro tried to get up, but fell back down. He knows the Anito chief will be here in a moment, so he tried to get up fast, but kept falling down and stumbling. Finally, he managed to get to his feet and fumbled up the steps.
Did you hear me, girl?
The chief just walked into the room.
Girl!
He looked around the room and started getting angry.
Where are you? Do not hide from me, girl. I will find you.
The chief paused for a moment, listening, but hearing nothing.
Hey, you!
Papaya scurried into the room.
Where's the girl?
The girl?
Yes, the girl. You know the girl. Where is she?
I do not know.
Yes, you do.
Papaya is now starting to tremble. The chief pointed to a hallway.
Did they go that way?
The chief raised his enormous hands above Papaya's head.
Tell me, Raul.
Don't hurt me, don't hurt me. I will tell.
Well, the chief raised his hands even higher above his head. Papaya pointed in the direction of the stone stairway.
They went that way.
They? What do you mean, they? Chief started to bring his hands down on Papaya's head. Tell me, or I'll...
The girl and the boy that came after her, they have gone back to their village.
Oh, they have they? The chief was now looking in the direction of Pedro's village. Well, I'll fix them. I will fix them both. Papaya stepped in the chief's way.
Do not harm them.
Out of my way. The chief easily brushed Papaya aside. There's a shorter way, through the side of the mountain. When they get home, I will be there, waiting for them. Chapter 4. Home Again. Pedro's mother was pacing in front of her house by the steps. A blue fat pig waddled up to her. Oh, pig, you are very lucky. You do not have any worries. All you have to think about is the day that you will go to market. Oh, my poor Pedro. He will never come back from the mountain. Why did I let him go? I think I will go to Maria's father. He is so upset about Maria. We can worry together. She sadly walked away on her way to Maria's house. The chief of the Anitos appeared in the front yard. He gazed around the yard and thought to himself, Good, the boy and the girl are not here yet. Well, this is where they will come first. Ah, I can see them now in the distance. They will be here soon. They will not be able to see me. Only animals can see me when I'm out of the mountain. The blue pig walked nearby and sees the chief, then senses danger. There's a nice fat pig. The pig slowly started backing up. I will take the pig back to the mountain with me too. The pig turned around and was ready to bolt. He will make a fine meal. Here, pig. The pig started to run to the backyard. Here, pig. The chief started running towards the back of the yard with his arms out to catch the pig. While the chief was in the backyard chasing the pig, in the front yard, the yellow dog Banana just got back from the mountains with his tongue hanging out. He trotted over to the steps where his water bowl is. Banana took a drink and then went under the stairs and lied down. In the backyard, the chief had tired out and stopped running. Bah! I will not bother about that pig now. I have one more important thing to do. Good. The boy and the girl are getting close now. I can see them in the distance. The Anito chief walked back to the front yard. Let me see. I will stand right here, and when they come back, I will grab them both in my arms and fly away to the mountain with them. Banana got up and came out from behind the staircase. The chief looked down at Banana. A dog. You be quiet, dog. Do not bother me. Quiet, I say. Banana ran right up in front of the chief. I told you to be quiet. The chief lost his temper and kicked at Banana, striking him in the ribs. And then Banana lost his temper and went after the chief. Banana jumped on the chief with his jaws snapping. Banana grabbed something and ripped it away. Chief suddenly felt weak. Chief looked down at Banana and saw why. Banana had the jewel in his mouth and was happily prancing around the yard, showing it off. The chief was horrified. Give me back my jewel, dog. Chief was now running in circles, chasing after Banana. Let go of that jewel. Banana let the chief get close. Chief kicked at him. Banana jumped aside, dodging the kick, and then pranced away. Chief had been fooled by that move and fell on his backside. He got right back up to his feet, but the chief was changing. He was looking pale and smaller. Banana had had enough, so he took the jewel and ran off. Chief was trying to keep up with the dog.
Give it back, I say.
As the chief was chasing Banana, he began to change into a smaller version of himself. His voice had changed to a wimpy yell.
Come back here or I'll fix you.
When Banana heard that voice, he stopped and turned around and looked at the chief.
Oh, what has happened to me?
Banana slowly walked forward, showing his teeth.
Nice doggy.
Then the wimpy, tiny ex-chief started running away. Of course, dogs like to chase anything that's running, and Banana is no exception.
No, stay away, leave me alone, help.
Banana chased for a while, but it was too hot to be running, so he came back home and laid down in front of the steps. By that time, Pedro and Maria had arrived back at Pedro's house. Back home at last. Maria started heading for home, but stopped.
See you later, Pedro.
Bye, Maria. Wow, I'm tired. He looked up at the stairs and saw Banana sitting there. Oh, Banana, you came back. And you have the Anitos chief's jewel? Did you take it away from him? What happened to him? Oh, you chased him away? Ah, Banana, what a good dog. Maria, come quickly.
What is the matter?
Hurry, big news.
All right, I'm coming.
Maria ran back to Pedro's house as fast as she could, and she made it in a hurry.
What is it? What is the matter? What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong. Everything is right. That's what's wrong.
Pedro!
I mean, Banana got the jewel away from the Anitos chief. You don't have to worry about him anymore.
You are joking.
No, look! Pedro pointed to Banana, proudly sitting in front of the steps. Maria started jumping up and down as she said,
We don't have to worry about Anitos anymore.
Hey, I have an idea. Banana, come here. Banana ran up to Pedro with the jewel. Banana, why don't you take that jewel back to the mountain and give it to the Anitos that Maria told me about with the fat tummy? He would make a good chief. Will you, Banana? Ah, that a boy. Go now. There will be a big juicy bone waiting for you when you get back. They both watched as Banana ran off to the mountain with the jewel. You know, Maria, I think you will be a good chief. What do you think? Maria started walking towards Pedro.
I like you.
Pedro didn't know what to say, so he said, Huh?
I like you.
Pedro's face was getting red. Aww.
I do like you. And I will go to the rice festival with you.
Maria kept on walking closer. You will, Maria? Will you really? Maria was right up to Pedro. Their faces drew close. And
Pedro loves Maria, Pedro loves Maria, Pedro loves Maria, Pedro loves Maria. Pedro loves...
One stop.